people killed in Brown University shooting. No ceasefire reached with Cambodia. Salam Malaysia Madani, this is World Today. I am Olivia Nicholas. 2 people were killed and 8 were critically wounded at a shooting on Saturday at Brown University. Mayor Brad Smiley said police were still searching for the shooter who struck at Brown's Barras and Holly Engineering building where exams were taking place at the time. Officials at a news conference said police were looking for a male dressed in black. Smiley said officials could not yet disclose details about the victims, including whether they were students. The university has hundreds of buildings, including lecture halls, laboratories and dormitories.
Brown, Providence and the FBI are currently in close coordination as they seek to find the shooter or shooters. The shooting took place at the Barras and Holly building, which is a Brown University engineering and physics building. The building contains both classrooms and lab space.
Fire officials said 10 victims were identified, with 8 transported to a hospital in critical but stable condition, while 2 were pronounced dead at the scene. Rescue teams operating alongside police continued searching campus buildings to ensure no additional victims. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump said he was briefed on a shooting at Brown University. The president stated that the FBI was at the scene and the suspect was not in custody. Thailand has not reached a ceasefire agreement with Cambodia, and the Thai military will continue fighting on the disputed border. Thailand's caretaker Prime Minister Anuthin Charnvirakul claimed that as Thai fighter jets struck targets hours after U.S. President Donald Trump said he had brokered a new ceasefire.
ไม่ได้คุยเรายังไม่มีการตกลงใดๆทั้งสิ้นมันเป็นการหารืออัปเดตกันธรรมดานะครับแล้วก็ยืนยันไปว่าในเรื่องของความขัดแย้งระหว่าง2ประเทศก็ทาง2ประเทศนี้ก็ต้องดำเนินการในการปกป้องทางประเทศไทยต้องดำเนินการในการปกป้องอธิปไตยและก็ประชาชนอย่างเต็มที่
Trump, who brokered a ceasefire in the long-running border dispute in October, spoke to Anuthin and Cambodian Premier Hun Manet on Friday and said they had agreed to cease all shooting. Neither mentioned an agreement in statements after their calls, with Trump and Anuthin earlier also said there is no ceasefire. The latest round of clashes between Thailand and Cambodia has left 15 Thai soldiers dead and 270 others injured. Spokesman for Thailand's Ministry of Defence, Surasant Kongasiri, said that Thailand has set up 970 temporary shelters where 263,105 people are residing. The Royal Thai Army, RTA, in a statement said that Cambodia has launched strikes targeting a civilian area in Thailand's Sisaket province, leaving 2 people seriously injured on Saturday. The attack took place as local residents were rushing to bomb shelters immediately after hearing air raid warnings. The RTA strongly condemned the Cambodian military actions. Meanwhile, Cambodia's Ministry of Interior announced in a press release that it would suspend all border crossings with Thailand until further notice. The move was made after the Thai side had committed acts of aggression against Cambodia's sovereignty through indiscriminate attacks, causing civilian casualties and damaging residential areas and infrastructure. The Cambodia-Thailand border conflict broke out on the 7th of December, with the 2 sides accusing each other of firing first. Hong Kong's High Court will hand down a verdict against pro-democracy campaigner Jimmy Lai tomorrow, according to a notice on the city's judiciary website, in a landmark national security trial that has drawn international scrutiny. Lai, aged 78, has pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces and a charge of conspiracy to publish seditious material in a case where he faces life imprisonment if convicted. The 156-day trial, which began in December 2023, has become the most high-profile example of China's crackdown on rights and freedoms in the Asian financial hub under a sweeping national security law that was imposed after mass pro-democracy protest in 2019. Some countries, including the US, said the trial is politically motivated and demanded Lai's immediate release. His family and lawyers have said Lai's health is deteriorating and he suffers from diabetes as well as heart palpitations that require medication. The Chinese and Hong Kong government said he is given a fair trial. Lai stands accused of using the Apple Daily as a platform to conspire with 6 former executives and others to produce seditious publications between April 2019 and June 2021 and to collude with foreign forces between July 2020 and June 2021. He was accused of conspiring to invite foreign countries, including the US, Britain and Japan, to impose sanctions, blockades and other hostile measures against Hong Kong and China.
Guna mentol jimat tenaga untuk lebih jimat.
Six United Nations peacekeepers from Bangladesh were killed on Saturday in a drone strike on Sudan's southern Kordofan region. The United Nations Interim Security Force said 6 troops were killed and 6 injured, including 4 seriously when a drone hit the camp in Kadulgi. UN Chief Antonio Guterres condemned the horrific attack, saying it may constitute war crimes under international law. At the same time, Bangladesh's interim leader Muhammad Yunus, in a statement, said he was deeply saddened by the attack and put the toll at 6 dead and 8 wounded. He asked the UN to ensure that his country's personnel were offered any necessary emergency support. Last week, strikes on a kindergarten and hospital in Kalogi in South Kordofan killed 114 people, including 63 children. Sudan's war has so far killed tens of thousands of people, displaced millions, and resulted in one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Efforts to end the war have so far failed. Israel claims it killed the head of weapons production in Hamas military wing in a strike in the Gaza Strip on Saturday. The Civil Defense Agency and medical sources in the Hamas-run Palestinian territory told the media an Israeli strike killed 5 people in the Tel Hawa district southwest of Gaza City. The army, when contacted, said there were only 1 strike conducted in the area which killed the top Hamas figure, Razzad. Under the US-brokered ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza, Israeli troops have withdrawn to positions behind the so-called Yellow Line, though they are still in control of more than half the territory. The Israeli army said Saad was the head of the weapons production headquarters of Hamas military wing, who led the group's force build-up. Family sources confirmed his death to the media and said the funeral would be held on Sunday. The ceasefire that came into effect on the 10th of October has halted the fighting between Israel and Hamas, but it remains fragile, with each side accusing the other of violating its terms. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un attended a welcoming ceremony for an army engineering unit that had returned home after carrying out duties in Russia, the North's state-run television KRT reported on Saturday. In a speech carried by North Korea's official news agency KCNA, Kim praised officers and soldiers of the 528th Regiment of Engineers of the Korean People's Army KPA for heroic conduct and mass heroism in fulfilling orders issued by the ruling Workers' Party of Korea during a 120-day overseas deployment. Footage released by North Korea showed uniformed soldiers disembarking from an aircraft, Kim hugging a soldier seated in a wheelchair, and soldiers and officials gathered to welcome the troops. KCNA said the unit had been dispatched in early August and carried out combat and engineering tasks in the Kursk region of Russia during Moscow's war with Ukraine. Last month, Russia's defense ministry said North Korean troops who helped Russia repel a major Ukrainian incursion into its western Kursk region are now playing an important role in clearing the area of mines. Under a mutual defense pact between the two countries, North Korea last year sent some 14,000 soldiers to fight alongside Russia in Kursk, and more than 6,000 were killed, according to South Korean, Ukrainian and Western sources. On the home front, and on a lighter note, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said Malaysia remains one of the most peaceful countries in the world despite its complex racial, religious and regional diversity. He said the country's ability to manage diversity has strengthened international confidence and positioned Malaysia as a stabilizing force in the region.
We work as Malaysians, we face the challenges together. I realize now that I'm at the helm that leading a multiracial, multireligious country is more complex, more challenging. When I used to come here, before I became Prime Minister, I thought it was easier.
Speaking at an event on Saturday, Datuk Seri Anwar added that Malaysia's peaceful record was a key reason the country continues to be viewed positively by its neighbours and the wider international community. This, he said, was reflected in the trust placed by regional and international leaders in Malaysia's role in easing conflicts and promoting dialogue. Up next, engine failure forces flight to return to Daisy area airport. A United Airlines flight bound for Tokyo was forced to return to Dulles International Airport in Northern Virginia on Saturday afternoon after experiencing an engine failure during departure. The Federal Aviation Administration FAA said the flight landed shortly after takeoff due to the loss of power in one engine. There were no reported injuries among the 275 passengers and 15 crew members aboard. Videos posted to the social media site X showed smoke billowing from near the runway at Dulles, which is located about 25 miles from Washington. The FAA said it will investigate the incident on United Flight 803, which involved a Boeing 777-200 aircraft. A piece of the plane's engine covered, separated and caught fire, sparking a brush fire on the ground at the airport. Bolivian authorities used a helicopter on Saturday to rescue stranded residents after flooding in the central department of Santa Cruz left at least 26 people missing. Intense overnight rains caused the Pire River and several ravines to overflow in early hours of Saturday around the town of El Torno, the municipal council said, collapsing a bridge, sweeping away homes and cutting off access to several rural communities. Rescuers transferred victims on stretchers to ambulances as volunteers loaded supplies on aircraft, as seen in a video released by El Torno Municipal Council. Authorities said they had activated aerial rescues with armed forces helicopters for evacuations since the area is difficult to access after intense rains, according to a statement posted on the El Torno City Council's Facebook page. Vice President Edmund Lara, who visited El Torno, urged the defense minister to send additional aircraft, saying some 200 people needed to be evacuated. volunteers were shown cooking for evacuees and organising donations at a collection centre. Rescue and relief operations continued. Thousands of Hungarians marched to Prime Minister Viktor Orban's offices on Saturday, led by opposition leader Peter Magyar, who urged the veteran nationalist to resign over an abuse scandal at a juvenile detention centre. Protesters walked through Budapest's frosty streets behind a banner reading "Protect the Children," carrying soft toys and torches in solidarity with victims of physical abuse in a case dating back several years. Commenting further, they stressed the government should resign for other reasons as well. The prosecutor's office said on Wednesday that 7 people had been detained at the state-run Budapest Juvenile Centre so far. Earlier this week, the government placed Hungary's 5 juvenile correctional institutions under direct police oversight while prosecutors investigate the case.
Bersihkan penapis penghawa dingin dan tetapkan 24 darjah Celsius untuk lebih jimat.
In sports, Malaysia in top 5 at Thai SEA Games. Stay with us.
Sukan SEA Thailand 2025. Semangatnya sudah terasa. Nantikannya hanya di RTM. Penyiar rasmi.
Malaysia have moved up 1 spot to 5th in the overall medal table at the Thailand SEA Games on Saturday, where the national contingent won another 6 gold medals to bring their current medal haul to 16 gold, 15 silver and 48 bronze to overtake the Philippines, who are now 6th. Thailand further extended their lead with Indonesia and Vietnam in 2nd and 3rd, followed by Singapore in 4th place. Here are some of the highlights from yesterday's achievements. Figure skating returned to the SEA Games program for the 3rd time, and Malaysia asserted their authority in the men's finals through Fang Zizeng for the day's first goal. Zizeng's combined score of 157.22 was enough to beat Thailand's Aaron Kuvatunyu and the Philippines' Paulo Baromio, ensuring Malaysia's success following Julian Yee's triumph in the 2017 and 2019 Games. Judoka Amir Daniel Abdul Majid delivered a surprise as he secured the men's below 81 kg gold to end Malaysia's wait for their first SEA Games success in the event. The victory was especially meaningful as Amir's father, Abdul Majid, died of a heart attack while he was attending a training camp in Mongolia recently. Kyu Ho Yen lifted Malaysia's gloom at the pool by winning the men's 200-meter freestyle gold. Ho Yen touched home in 1 minute 48.64 seconds, edging Vietnam's Van Nguyen Quoc Tra, while another Malaysian, Arvind Shawn Singh Chalal, clinched bronze. All-rounder Virundeep Singh guided the Malaysian T20 cricket team to gold after beating rival Singapore by 6 wickets in their final round-robin match. Virundeep started with 65 runs to finally steer the team to goal after finishing bridesmaids to Singapore in 2017 and Cambodia in 2023. Mohamed Salah came off the bench in the first half of Liverpool's match against Brighton on Saturday, a week after he made explosive comments about the club and manager Arne Slot. The Egypt forward was introduced to loud cheers in the 26th minute after defender Joey Gomez was forced off injured. Hugo Ekitike scored at Anfield after 46 seconds and Salah brought off the substitutes bench in the first half, set up the Frenchman's second goal after the break. Speaking after the win against Brighton, Slot said there was no issue to resolve with Salah, whose corner was headed home by Ekitike in the 60th minute.
Yeah, I think he's a Liverpool player, and the moment he's there, I like to use him when we need him. And today he didn't start, as he did a few times before, but in the 1.5 season before, he almost started. He started, I think, every game. Today when he came in, like I just said, he had a performance like you would want him to give.
Salah, aged 33, last week accused the faltering Premier League champions of throwing him under the bus after he was left on the bench for the draw game at Leeds, the third match in a row that he had not started. Saturday's victory for Liverpool lifted Slot's men to 6th in the table, easing the pressure on the beloved coach. Salah, who signed a new 2-year contract in April, now departs for the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON. The length of his absence depends on how far Egypt go in the competition in Morocco, with the final on 18th of January. Cole Palmer returned with a much-needed goal as Chelsea beat Everton 2-0 in the Premier League on Saturday to end a run of 4 games without a win in all competitions. Victory at Stamford Bridge left Chelsea back into the top 4. The England international broke the deadlock against Everton in the 21st minute at Stamford Bridge. Malo Gusto played in Parma with a fine pass and he beat fellow England international Jordan Pickford at the goalkeeper's near post. Everton continued to dominate possession, with Chelsea goalkeeper Robert Sanchez saving well from Jack Grealish. All of Everton's pressure failed to yield an equaliser, and Chelsea, against a run of play, doubled their lead in first half stoppage time when a counter-attack ended with Gusto turning in a cutback from Pedro Neto. Real Madrid coach Xabi Alonso said Kylian Mbappe is fit to play on Sunday against Alaves in La Liga as he depleted team bid to turn around a run of bad results. Mbappe missed the Champions League defeat by Manchester City on Wednesday, which left Madrid with just 2 wins in their last 8 games, and Alonso at risk of the sack. Federico Valverde, Antonio Rudiger and Dean Huijsen are also back, strengthening a squad that has struggled for consistency in recent weeks. Real Madrid are without several injured players for the game in Victoria, including Trent Alexander-Arnold, Dani Carvajal and Ecuador Camavinga. Fran Garcia, Alvaro Carreras and Enrique are also suspended. Defender Dean Huijsen is likely to return for the clash at Alves, which could define Alonso's future. Madrid have lost back-to-back home games, falling to Manchester City in the Champions League and Celta Vigo in the league, results that have raised questions about their form. Speaking ahead of the match, Alonso said the visit to Alaves was very important given the team's current situation and said the focus was on changing the momentum. He stressed that such difficult spells are normal and must be faced with responsibility and hard work to turn things around. Alonso said he hoped Madrid's current struggles, lying 4 points behind La Liga leaders Barca, could make them stronger. Still to come on our offbeat segment, hundreds of Santa saddle up for bike ride through London. Over 1,000 cyclists dressed up as Santa Claus rode through central London to mark the 11th year of the Santa Cruise, a fundraising event that has become an annual tradition in the city. Dressed in red and riding customized BMX bikes, these jolly Santas started from St. Thomas Hospital and then paddled past classic London landmarks such as Buckingham Palace. The event was started by BMX cycling enthusiast Stefan Wright when he received support from the Evelina Children's Heart Organization for his son, who was hospitalized after surviving a heart attack aged only 6 months.
I think it's very humbling as well that so many people come together for such a great cause and for such a great charity. When we get round to the hospital, a lot of people also bring gifts that we wrap up, and then I dress up as an elf and I go on the walls next week, and I see where the money goes, and I see the help that it gives to the families. A lot of these families, they come to the hospital very suddenly, and they've got nothing with them.
En route, many cyclists also collected donations from onlookers for the Echo Charity's efforts towards supporting children with heart conditions. A family in the Philippines has turned their home into a holiday spectacle featuring dazzling Christmas lights and artificial snowfall created from soap bubbles, bringing seasonal cheer to children in the surrounding neighborhood. Visual artist and homeowner Margie Organo Tajon adorned her house with thousands of carefully arranged Christmas lights and hundreds of festive figurines, transforming the property into a holiday attraction. Since it began in 2020, the display has drawn large weekend crowds, with parents bringing their children to marvel at the lights and play beneath the soap-bubbled snowfall. Tajon said she began decorating her home before the pandemic, inspired by the anticipation of becoming a grandmother. With children confined indoors at the time, she said she wanted to create a safe and joyful space for them. Tajon added that the project brings her immense happiness, noting that while the display required significant expense, the joy it brings to children is priceless. Rivian Automotive unveiled its first custom computer chip for self-driving. The chip is a major shift from NVIDIA's processors and a new paid driver assistance package called Autonomy Plus, with prices far below those of rival Tesla. The announcements come as car makers worldwide pour billions into AI systems to power long-awaited self-driving technologies. Rivian said its longer-term goal is level 4 autonomy, in which a vehicle can operate without human input in certain conditions. Its new foundational AI model, trained on vast amounts of real and simulated driving data, called the Large Driving Model. The new in-house chip, called the Rivian Autonomy Processor, will boost the vehicle's capacity to process data from cameras, lidar and other sensors, key to achieving its target of higher levels of autonomous driving. The company's deep vertical integration is costly at low production levels, but becomes a major cost advantage at scale by eliminating supplier margins and tailoring components to its needs. Driver Assistance Package Autonomy Plus, priced at $2,500 in a one-time payment or $49.99 per month, will include a universal hands-free feature that works on more than 3.5 million miles of roads across the US and Canada. That's it from us this afternoon. In our top story, 2 people killed in Brown University shooting. Malaysia Tonight comes on at 8:30 this evening on TV1 and MyTV's Berita RTM news channel. Thank you for watching. I'm Olivia Nicholas. Have a good afternoon.